Thank you so much for being here, everybody. It just means the universe to see all of you here and to know that you came out to make peace a priority. And I want to thank all our incredible speakers and our singers and our dancers, our choreographers, the children's board. Thank you, everybody, for being here. You have heard a lot already about what started at Mosaic for a lot of people. And now I want to tell you how Mosaic started. I want to give you a little bit of history. It started a little bit about our past. It started when I was 15. A lot of people have said that number. Isn't that weird? It started when I was 15, and it's our 15th anniversary. What are the chances? But it did good. When I was, what was that?
It's 2015.
It is 2015. Wow. Who were the cool women who thought to start a nonprofit in 2000 so that we could remember how old we were? So smart. I know I was worried about that. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. All right. So how did it start? I really was 15. I went to a program for high school students that focused on diversity issues. A 4-night, 5-day summer camp when I was 15 absolutely blew my mind. And it also showed me that waiting until high school to start talking about these issues is waiting far too long. That prejudice and fear of difference is already deeply ingrained by that point. And then, when I was a college student at Stanford, I had the opportunity to travel with students who had also lost family in the Holocaust, like my friend Susan right here. We got serious history in this room. My parents are here too. Yogi's are too, yeah. So I am talking about the past. We had the opportunity to go to Germany to meet with ex-Nazis and talk about what had happened, side by side with German students. And it was at that point, well, before I went, I already was somewhat familiar with this idea of the pyramid of violence, this graphic illustration of how hatred operates in all of us individually and in our societies. But it was in Germany that I got it. It was in Germany that I really got how a little prejudiced thought can end up leading to horrific violence and leads to smaller acts of violence every day. Now, it was these experiences and endless conversations with Gogi until 4 in the morning over many, many years that led to the creation of the Mosaic Project in the year 2000. And it's based on a very simple idea that if we are to create real peace, we shall have to begin with the children. And research does show that we start to exhibit prejudice between 2.5 and 8 years old. So I really don't believe it makes sense to wait to start talking about it. And yet, we are the only organization that we know of that is addressing these issues with younger people in such an intensive way in a residential setting. The only ones. And studies, research is also showing that segregation, school segregation right now is at the same level that it was at in the 60s, and it's getting worse. And I believe that the segregation is flat out dangerous. And this is why. At the Mosaic Project, we add these 2 layers to the bottom of the pyramid of violence. This idea that segregation leads to ignorance and fear, which leads to prejudice, discrimination, violence, and eventually war and genocide. And as you're going to hear in a little bit, the segregation doesn't need to be physical separation from somebody else. You can feel separated from the person right next door to you if you don't really know them. And when we're separated, we rely on stereotypes. And the youth leaders in the video explained really well what can happen when we rely on stereotypes and we label and humanize one another. Now in the video, they use the stereotype thug, but of course there's so many labels. There can be bad kid, right? There can be poor performer. There can be sissy. There can be bully. Yes, bully is a stereotype. It took one of our students to tell us, hey, wait, that's a label. And when you call somebody a bully, you can't empathize with them. And as we learned from Mark, a bully is a hurt person. Hurt people hurt other people. So I want to emphasize that we're not talking about blame here. As the youth leaders so well showed that the Monday is the first day of the week, that's the way our brains work. That's the way we make sense of the world. We see things and we immediately fill things in. The trick is to catch ourselves so that we can stop it. It is not about blame. It is not about guilt. It is not about defensiveness. divisiveness. Those are what we call peace blockers at the Mosaic Project, and they do not help us solve problems. So it is about taking that label off so that we can truly humanize and empathize with one another, and remember that we all have our stories, and that is the work of the Mosaic Project. We are dismantling that pyramid brick by brick, layer by layer. But we're not just dismantling it, we are transforming it. We are empowering our students with the skills to transform it into the power of the pyramid of peace. Now it follows that if segregation leads to violence, then connection leads to peace. And right here you have a summary of all our curriculum, all our programs, whether we're working with kindergartners or corporations, whether we have a half hour, whether we have 4 hours or a week. This is a summary of our curriculum. We start with connection, and then we work on respecting, looking again, truly seeing people, recognizing that other people have different perspectives, which is huge if you're going to create peace. So, to explain what I mean, everybody look at the ceiling and imagine a clock on the ceiling and point up at the clock and make your finger go clockwise. Circle it clockwise and keep pointing up, keep pointing up, keep pointing up, and now circle it down, keeping it pointing up, but put it under your nose. Circle it under your nose and look down at it. Which way is it going?
Counterclockwise.
You gotta keep pointing up. I see people going this. You gotta keep pointing up. Go down.
This in the dress.
Right? So which way is it going? Clockwise or counterclockwise? It depends on your perspective. It depends on how you look at it. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Understanding different perspectives. That is not often, it's not about, as our song says, what's wrong or right. It's about how you look at it. It's not about trying to win. It's about trying to understand. And then we can truly empathize. Then we can work on really understanding how other people are feeling. And then we're ready for assertive communication, being strong while also being kind. Key to peace. We do a lot of assertiveness training. Being strong without being mean. And then we're ready for assertive conflict resolution. Now this is what this is about. In a moment, but not yet, I'm going to have you turn to a partner and you're going to have a thumb fight. Everybody know how to have a thumb fight?
No.
Okay? Let's here. Come on, Evan. It's time to begin to demonstrate. Come on. Okay, go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's have a thumb war. 5, 6, 7, 8. Laura Mandela is really great. Alright, so then you try to hold the person's thumb down for, let's say, 2 seconds and get as many points as you can. Ready? Go. And stop! There you go. Stop. Stop. Raise your hand if you got 1 point.
Good job.
Keep your hand up if you got 2. Keep it up if you got 3. Keep it up if you got 4. Keep it up if you got 10. Keep it up if you got 20. Keep it up if you got 20 billion. All right, you know. How do you do it? This is how we do it. We go boom, 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 boom. And then we multiplied it by 1 billion. Why not? Win-win, my people. It's not about winning. It's not the 2 of us against each other, but it's the 2 of us against the problem. That's conflict resolution. Have you ever been in a staff meeting where everybody's like, right? Instead of all trying to solve the problem, what if Congress could do this? So that's what our conflict resolution is about. It's about working together to solve the problem. And then, of course, that leads to peace. Okay? And I want to say that what I love about this model is that it works everywhere. It works on an individual level, it works on a societal level, it works on a global level. It works when we go in to work with corporate executives because you can feel very separated from the person right next door in the next cubicle if you don't really know them. And that leads to a lot of misunderstandings and a lot of unnecessary pain in the workplace. You have to work anyway. You might as well have fun and be peaceful and healthy. It blows, it blows my mind still to see how much just providing that opportunity for connection, just that bottom layer can change everything. It still blows me away. So for Mosaic, it started with the pyramids, and now we're here. And here to talk more about the present, because she is the present, is our very own Cara, former youth leader, former staff facilitator, and our current outreach and communications director, to tell you where we are.
Thank you so much, Laura. I am here to talk about the present, but before I do that, believe it or not, I too was once 15, and I would like to use a little bit of the past to swing us into the present. So when I was 15, I saw huge amounts of segregation and separation leading to fear and violence. The difference is that I wasn't in a place that was very segregated. I was at Berkeley High School. It's one of the most diverse high schools in the nation. But before I saw the pyramids, I knew viscerally that all of the diversity in the world doesn't matter if there's not true connection. It doesn't matter when, even though your school's diverse, you're the only black person in all of your classes. It doesn't matter if your friends of color who you know to be witty, intelligent people are getting tracked into remedial classes. The one and only place I saw true connection and inclusion across lines of differences was the Mosaic Project, when I became a youth leader at 17. That's how it started for me at Mosaic. All right, I'm ready to go to the present. So fast forward, and Mosaic does feel as relevant as ever. We all know of instances where lack of understanding and stereotyping led to hurt and violence. We all know stories of a father or son who's not going to be coming home anymore. However, I also find it hugely devastating that even amongst people who truly believe in equity and peace, there can be a lack of empathy. An activist I know well wanted to host a vigil when there was a lack of indictment in the Eric Garner case, and it became so partisan that it blew my mind. I want to read this quote. This is from the Facebook wall of that event. It says, "I just threw up in my mouth. Who is this woman?" referring to the organizer. "I want to slap her." And I want to emphasize that that wasn't just some random person on Facebook. That was another well-known activist, a well-known community member who I respected. And it's not just that. After I did an informational meeting, a parent informational meeting at one of the Berkeley elementary schools, I was complimented on how well-spoken I was. And I hadn't said anything that spectacular. It felt odd to me that I was being complimented on that, as if I should be able to speak in a way that she could understand. I'm sure she was well-meaning. It was a compliment. But it's really hurtful, because if she really knew me, she would know that when it's unexpected for someone who looks like me to be eloquent, that's hard for me. Those examples make me feel angry and helpless like a 15-year-old again. As Laura said, blame, guilt, and defensiveness are the peace blockers, and they really run so deep. So that gets me to where I see change occurring. At our outdoor school, we bring together students every week for real, not through social media, so that we really have to see one another face to face. If you truly know someone, if you take the box off of their head, it's hard to say you want to slap them. It's hard to be surprised when they speak English in a way that you appreciate. We want to spread what we do to the world, but I'm not here to talk about the future, I'm here to talk about the present. And right now, even with the support of our amazing partner schools, we don't have the means to do everything we want to. But we want your help creating this world we want to see, to create the biggest impact we can. Mark and I, Jalen, can't mention the new model. And this model deepens and sustains our impact by bringing our in-school project to every school that we work with, every school that participates in the outdoor school. We currently serve nearly 1,000 students at our outdoor school alone each year. And they're psyched to be Mosaic Peace Ambassadors and teach younger students what they're learning. Kids boards, can I get a witness? Are you excited about that? C, we are now working to support our students through elementary school and middle school until they're old enough to join the Youth Leadership Project with Raymundo and Jeremiah. Another way we want to support them is by welcoming their families into the Mosaic community. That's why the last weekend in May, we are having our pilot run of our Mosaic Family Camp. We're super excited about it. And that's going to be up at our campsite in Napa. And it's going to allow our Peace Ambassadors to teach their families too. We'll be strong this year with your help. As I think about our past, present, and future, it was people just like you who made the past possible and made today possible. And starting here today, you can help make the future possible. So, here to talk to you about Mosaic's future, because she is the future. Okay, I tried to do big. Anyway, our next 15 years and beyond is our program associate, Emily Abad.
Thank you, Cara. Yes, I represent Mosaic's future. In fact, I plan to take Laura's job one day, or at least a third of it, because she does a lot. Although I have to say that the real future is our students, like these here, my people. Children's Board, put your hands up. Let's hear it for I'm very proud to be the facilitator of the Children's Board, can you tell? I'm committed to making Mosaic my lifelong path, even though when I was 15, I wanted to be a chef. I was pretty good at it, if I may say so myself. But what shifted for me was seeing Mosaic in action. Seeing every child, every youth leader held with so much care and respect, and seeing the students so empowered to make change, I thought, this is the world that I want to see. I don't know about you, but I never got that much support and respect from adults when I was a kid. Mosaic is the first place, including my own home, where every part of me was accepted. There are a lot of amazing organizations out there, some that are very popular, and they all stand for one specific issue or group of people. But I am many things. I'm a woman, I'm a person of color, my father was an immigrant, I'm gay, I'm an environmentalist, and I care about the well-being of children all over the world. I am a mosaic in and of myself, and so is everybody in this room. We address a huge spectrum of differences and how they intersect. Mosaic Project is for all of us and all of us, right? This is why I'm here, to contribute to this work where every child, every teacher, everyone feels safe to always be their full selves. I'm excited to be on this ride for the next 15 years, and you will too when you find out where we're going. So here's where we're going. As Cara so brilliantly says, creating this world is a boon for everyone. There's no one that does not benefit from a world with more kindness and equity. You might be thinking that our work seems overly optimistic, but it's just not. I've seen kids at the outdoor school and seen how cross-cultural connections can change perspectives. I've gone into schools using our in-school curriculum and seen how the whole culture of a school can change. I've seen youth leaders, some of the youth leaders in this room become activists and poets and leading workshops so that they can lead the world in the direction of peace. I'm continually inspired by these young people because they are the future, and I've seen it start at Mosaic. And now it's time for it to grow. We did a huge strategic plan process, fancy word, 2 years ago, where we clarified our goals for the future, working on becoming as strong as we can structurally, programmatically, and financially here in the Bay Area, strengthening our core, as we say, so that we can spread. We are well on our way, and we have 3 big wishes. Some say not to say your wishes out loud, but I've learned that with these kinds of wishes, you do need to share them as widely as possible so that they will come true. So let me share them with you. Our first wish, a permanent outdoor school. That's right. Thank you very much. We need land. We want to find land for our camp nearby, preferably in Alameda County, just right up there in the hills, where we can run our year-round programming for our students, for our alumni, and their families, for the family camps, and where we can realize our vision here in the Bay Area. Wish number 2, we need to supersize our staff. That's right, this is a big part of strengthening our core. Now that I'm a part of our full-time staff team, I've seen and experienced how hard everyone works. Nobody is working for the weekend. Everybody's working on the weekend. If passion and dedication were all we needed, we would be set. But unfortunately, those alone are never going to get us to our full potential. We do so much on so little, more than any other organization any of us have ever seen. We're not bragging, it's insane and not sustainable. So, we need several more people if we're going to be strong. For example, we need an outdoor school director. That's going to be me in the future, so that Laura isn't doing the jobs of 3 people, sometimes more. We need more year-round program staff. You raise your hand if you are or have been a facilitator for Mosaic. Take a look around. Most of them are on the sides because they're volunteering right now. Take a look around at these amazing people. They are the most fantastic, amazing, inspiring individuals that I've ever had the pleasure of working with. And imagine what we could do if we had them all year round. Like, imagine if Mark didn't have to take that other job and he could just be with us all the time. Or if Andrew could be our resident rock star all year round. How amazing would that be? Yeah. We also need, this is important, we also need a PR and communications director because, I don't know if you know, but I just found out that Facebook isn't cool anymore. Someone can take care of that for us. We figured out exactly what we need to be complete. So we do have a copy of our full staffing chart. So if you want a copy of it so that you can share it and help make it a reality, please let us know and we'll get you a copy. Our third and final big wish is to spread and become a model for replication elsewhere. Because like I said, we believe that there isn't a place on the planet that does not need the work that we do. As you saw in our videos, we have people teaching Mosaic in Peru, in Japan, and on a peace boat. Okay? In fact, there are summer camps in Illinois and in Monterrey, Mexico that are based on our curriculum. Okay? Yeah, it's amazing. And in Bahia Coyote, they are dancing and being free right now, and you can check it out.
Buenas tardes. Mosaic started in California.
And now we're in Mexico!
All around the world, and we want to continue to do that. Luckily, we have our CD and curriculum guide that help us to share with others around the world available at the merchandise table. Pick up yours today. But won't it be amazing when we can share our outdoor school across the country and across the world? So that's why we've set a goal of 5 in 15, reaching 5 times as many individuals as we reach now in the next 15 years. In order to grow, we need funds, and the vast majority of our support comes from individual contributors just like you. You are all conductors driving this train to the future. Only in the future, it won't be a regular train, but a solar-powered, voice-activated hover Segway train. And there are 3 ways you can power this train. The first way you can power this train is to spread the word, and that includes buying our merchandise and using it.